Where did it go? The good Lord only knows. Okay. Anybody ever listen to Waylon? Still working on the old Mach 1 here. I've got the driver's side, the left rear axle out, everything working there. And got the left front wheel off. Going to take that drum off and probably take the drums and get them turned, paint all that up. I've cleaned out from under it here. Just working on a variety of things. It's not going to be perfect, and I don't want it to be perfect. I just want it to be better than it is, and that's good. For a long time, that's why it was sitting since 1994, essentially. For a long time, I wanted to make it really, really good. I wanted to build something that was, you know, a show car. And that was stupid. That was stupid because I was waiting for the best time, and there is no best time. There's not a great time to do something like that. It costs a lot of money. I had young family, had a lot going on. Just doesn't make sense. So from that standpoint, it was stupid of me to do it that way. And I've kind of come around, I guess. So it's going to get little bits and pieces of things that I would like to have, and it'll get them over time. First of which is going to be these brakes. It's going to be drum brakes, just like it came from the factory with. I'm not putting disc brakes on it, but with all the costs involved with that. For a couple $100, I'm going to rebuild pretty much the entire braking system, and it worked fine. It'll stop the car the way I want it to stop. I'll keep them adjusted and make sure that they're maintained the way they're supposed to be. Won't be an issue. So I don't need $2,000 or $3,000 worth of brakes. Not an issue. Don't need that at all. It doesn't need to have a huge rebuilt power plant that's going to make it go, 11 seconds in the quarter, because it's never going to run the quarter in any organized way, as far as I'm concerned. It is a car for me to drive and have fun. So I'm going to make it that car, and it's not going to be perfect, because if it were perfect, I wouldn't want to drive it. I'd want to leave it sitting. It's got a lot of things it needs, like it needs to have this quarter redone here. You see the Bondo, it collected a fence way back early in its life, back in the 1970s. The original owner, I think his wife hit a barbed wire fence, barbed wire as we used to call it when I was a kid, a barbed wire fence. So it got a post here in the door. Let me see if I can get it for you here. Here in the door, there, back in the quarter that I showed you, and right here, you can't see it, but right here in the front fender, it collected a post there. So it had 3 posts. Those 3 posts created problems. It's going to have more work to get that straightened out, but it's not going to have that work for a while. So I'm going to make it drivable. I'm going to pull the engine, put I may take the engine and have it rebuilt. I may actually put it's got 95,000 miles on it. It still runs great, but it sat for so long. I may take it I'm definitely going to put new gaskets in it. Probably a new timing chain at least. But I may go ahead and take it and have the heads reworked and decked, hardened valve seats put in it, new valve guides, have everything just kind of checked out. May go ahead and put new bearings in it, new camshaft, new lifters, although I've heard a lot of bad things about new cams, not holding up and grenading. So this thing runs so good, I kind of hate to mess with it. So I may just put a new timing chain in it and put it on the road and put some lead additive in my fuel as I go and just drive it for a while. I'm not going to drive. It's not going to get driven 10,000 miles a year. It won't be driven 1,000 miles a year. So relatively speaking, won't be an issue. So I got this one off. Gonna rework that. I vacuumed and cleaned the interior. It looks pretty doggone good. I got this all, the axle out. I stuffed some paper towel in there just so that nothing else gets in. I'm going to wire brush this down and just put a coat of paint over it, just to kind of collect that. I'm going to put some new shocks on it here. Got new front shocks. I'm going to put those on. New brake hoses. I'm going to clean this up and I got both rear drums cleaned up and painted. I got the left, the driver's side left rear backing plate cleaned up and painted, and the right front drum painted. So I got work to do. Let me see if I can get these shock absorbers changed out. First things first, let's go ahead and take this off here. Take the top 2 bolts out of this shock absorber. Don't have any idea how old this shock absorber is. Probably has been replaced at some point, maybe 10 years or so after it was, when the car was about between 5 and 10 years old, I would imagine, although I don't know that for sure. When I pull the engine, I'm going to go ahead and clean this up. Got to put a new ground cable on it. That ground cable looks terrible, but it's going to be all right. All right, so that's loose. Let's take a look and see what we got to do down here. I don't know. All right, so this looks like I need an extension. Boy, it needs new bushings in there at some point. But I don't think I need them right now. So I've got my expensive Thorson tools here. These are tools that are anything but expensive. I bought these years ago. Back about probably not going to work. About 1986. I've used it. I've used them ever since. Ooh, I know what I'm going to need. I'm going to need a 1/2-inch wrench to hold the top nut there because it's just spinning, I'm sure. No, it's not. It's fine. Okay. All right, so that's welded in. No issue. No factor. No factor. Here we go. Hard to keep everything here and seated, isn't it? There we go. That's great, no sweat there. I think I'm gonna have to take that top plate off too, come to think of it. Oh. Got my Tyvek coveralls on today. It makes me sweat a lot. You might ask, why do you have Tyvek coveralls on? I don't know. Working on some painting and cleaning, and when these get super dirty, I just toss them, throw them out. They're disposable. There we go. Ooh. What have we here? Well, the shock is totally loose. Maybe I don't have to do anything crazy. Oh! Hoping that might come through, but it won't. It will not fit. All right, so I'm gonna have to pull that loose after all. Probably a 9/16. Can say that again. This should be the last one. UPS just pulled that door. Maybe FedEx or Amazon. My dogs are protesting some issue going on out there. And when your dogs start to protest you, you know it. All right, so I don't know if I've got to pull. Yeah, this will work like that. Just work it out of there. Here we go. It's a Montgomery Ward Town and Country shock, and the shock actually looks pretty good. It is no good, but it looks pretty good. Montgomery Ward, how about that? We bought KYB. Bought these parts from Rock Auto. The only thing I don't like about Rock Auto, and it's true of everywhere. I mean, it's, I buy parts and try to buy them ahead of time, so I'm ready when I have a chance to work on something. And then inevitably, I don't have a chance to do it for a while. And then I can't exchange the part. If the part's bad or wrong or something else, I got 30 days, and well, I haven't done it in 30 days, so forget that, right? So what you have to do is you have to put rubber bushing on both sides, drop it down in the inside, which I didn't do with the other one, obviously, but drop it down inside. Then on the other side, you would put another rubber bushing face the other way. You got that little, it's gonna face the other way. It's gonna pinch that mounting bracket right there. Put a flat washer on each one. And then a lock washer. You have to have the flat washer so that the lock washer has something to bite. And then you put your two nuts on there. So that's the plan. That's how it has to go together. And let me see if I can't replicate that here on this setup that I've got in the car now. It does not take long to put new shock absorbers on the front of the car, much less time than new struts for a newer vehicle. The McPherson struts, the struts are a little bit more of a pain. Got to have the coil spring compressor and all that stuff, but on these guys, not so much, not so bad. And if I had a better angle, it would be good, but I don't, so pull that up so I can put my first bushings on here. Bushing there on that side. Well, I'm waiting. Here we go. Looks good. Turn this bushing over. We'll fit it right up in there. Sandwich it in. Boy, there's not much room on that. As always, if you spin it back, oh, there we go, that helps a little bit. Spin it backwards. It often helps you to get it, kind of get it started. There we go, that's better. Sorry about that. Kicking you guys around. So, bushing goes in, the flat washer goes in. Lock washer goes in. Oh. Nut goes in. Only now, I've got absolutely no way to see what I'm doing. And I got my gloves, which makes it harder to feel what I'm doing. And I just dropped the little lock washer. And it rolled about a half a mile away. All right, yeah. Wow, this is gonna be hard. Oh, I can't believe I just did that with the nut. Do you folks ever suffer from this type of problem? God, if you've ever suffered from excess just problems when you're trying to work on something, you understand where I'm coming from here. Actually, it's pretty uniform, I think. Everybody drops hardware. Everybody has trouble. It's a universal thing. Oh, wow, that doesn't look too bad. So, there we go. Now all I have to do is tighten up this hardware and get this top mount in place the way it needs to be. So, obviously, That's going to be interesting. But wow, that's problematic right there. All right, folks, you're witnessing the same thing I'm witnessing, so let me see if I can figure it out. My suspension is unloaded, so I need to put a jack under it to load up the suspension here. So as I jack up this control arm, you can see what I'm saying. Wasn't good. No harm. The little lip on the jack just slipped, that's all. Let it pop down a little bit there. No harm. Like it when that happens. Everything's kind of fiddly sometimes. And there. Voila. Voila. You can see that these are just carriage bolts turned upside down. They go into a slot down here. So you got to get them turned around and lined up. And I lost one earlier, so I'm going to have to go find that one now. Where'd it go? Where did it go? The good Lord only knows. Okay. Anybody ever listen to Waylon? So here's what I was talking about. It goes in this little slotted area. There's where it goes. Now I'm going to have to move things around again. Oh, I forgot how much fun that is. And I didn't want to take this brace off, so probably should have, but hey, I think I can get it. There we go. That looks a whole lot better. Things are looking much better right there. Okay. So at this point, it should be pretty clear what you have to do. Just have to tighten everything up. New shock absorber is on. I'm going to do putting in this last shock. And you remember on the passenger side, on the right side, I had trouble putting this back over the shock when I had the shock in there. So the best way to avoid that is just don't put it together that way. Put this on first, then drop your shock in. And in fact, I would say put that on, get this all lined up here. Line up every element of it. And then hopefully go back together the way it should. Got some trouble with this back here. Let me see if I can figure out why. I don't know why. It has to be pretty much right. So, okay. All right. That's all the way it works. There we go. Could be that I need to let the suspension down a bit. Let's just check that out here in a minute. We'll get this all situated here. Come back and look at it. All right, so I did a couple things without putting them on camera. I couldn't get this third bolt to line up here. Now I can't get the second one to line up. See what we got to do here. Well, now I can't get one of them to line up. So now we're back to where we started. There we go. That one's lined up now. This one doesn't like to be lined up. Little, there we go. Little screwdriver bending things. This is a little bit of pressure. On it goes, and it's fine and dandy. Now, see what's on back here. Is that going to go? It will. Snuggy snug. I don't think these have to be terribly tight. After all, it's not like the wheels are attached to it or anything. All joking aside, if you snug them down pretty good, you'll be fine. I don't like to use a lot of the impact stuff, electric or air, because you can't get a feel for it. I like to just kind of get a feel for how tight things are. And there we go. One new shock absorber installed. All done with both of them. This is the vent tube on the rear end. It's located on the left side of the rear end. This is the original vent tube on this car. Now, the tube is supposed to, the end of the hose is supposed to be inserted into the frame like that, essentially. So that's how it's supposed to look. And of course, the very term vent tube means that it's supposed to be unrestricted. Now you can see, number one, it's starting to dry rot and crack. I mean, it's only been 53 years. 53, is that right? Yeah, I guess 53. 52 for certain. It's only been 52 years, so this whole hose probably needs to be replaced. I'm going to have to pop this off, and I'm just going to get a regular hose clamp here and put a new hose on it. So just wanted to let you see that this is not a good thing, because your rear end has to be vented. It builds up pressure in there. You got to have a vent, and that one isn't venting anything right now. On a stormy afternoon here, let's see if I can get this done. I don't know about the rest of you folks, but every time I start to do something, it takes way longer than I think it should. Way longer. And I've had this car apart for almost 2 months now, so just to work on the brakes, because it just got a little deeper, a little farther, a little more, and that's how it goes. These gloves, I think I've talked about these in another video, but these are, I got these from Lowe's. They're GRX, I think they're called, Professional. They're really awesome. These have been oil impregnated. I've worked on so many things with them. And what I do is I kind of layer them. I put some very thin nitro gloves on, and then I put these gloves on, because these will hold the oil, and to touch things that you don't want to get oily, you got to take them off. So let's see if I can get this clip off here now. Ooh. Being that it's been in there for all these years, it may not come out the easiest in the world. Let's see. I know I have done this plenty of times. Oh, there comes the rain. I can hear it. I'm just going to get down here in the floor and wallow around a little bit. Or as they say in East Tennessee, I'm going to waller around a little bit. That's my heritage. Let's see here. Here goes nothing, as they say. See if I can turn this just a little bit, because I cannot get over there. I don't don't think it's going to move. Maybe it will, I don't know. Maybe it's moved a little. I don't know. Hard to tell. Let's see. I think it's moving some. I just don't think I can get behind it. But maybe I could. I don't think so. I got a big wasp nest right there, mud dauber's nest. Right there. Big mud dauber. Here we go. Just take this brake line loose before I do much more. Just to be sure I'm not going to create more problems than I need to create. Let's throw that up there. I don't want to create more problems. Let's see what we got. Got my wrench here. Let's see, I think this is going to be way too big. This should go... Oof. There it goes. Oh, beautiful. I like that. Came right loose. Some of the folks that I watch on YouTube would not be happy with that because things in their neck of the woods don't come loose that much, especially when they might have been sitting about 30 years. But this one's been sitting about 30 years. Actually more than that. It really hasn't been driven much since about 1981 or so. So it's closer to 40 years. Listen to that rain. Man, it is coming down out there. Holy smokes. This is one of those days I'm glad I got a roof over my head. Think of all the people throughout history that have sat and had to find shelter from this type of weather. And still do. It is coming down out there, blowing. Probably loud. I've got my earplugs in. I can't hear it too much, but this is very tedious. There it is, right there. Okay. So that one is out. Something tells me I better take these off too. At the same time. Or at least at around the same time. This looks like it could be a little more complex. Maybe I can do this, but I don't know. Oh, I think I need to pop that whole thing probably up. It's not on there. There it goes. That's not very... That doesn't feel too hot right there. It doesn't feel very promising. Probably need to let that soak. I know that there are people who don't think penetrating oil does very much, and maybe it doesn't. But it makes me feel better. Just something about having that oil and that lubrication in there makes me think that I'm going to have a better result. Could be falsely. It's been falsely assumed before. Oh, what is going on? I don't know about this. A lot of dirt on there. I should have cleaned all that off. I didn't. At some point, I'm going to pull this rear end out and clean up under here and redo things, but that's not today. Probably won't be tomorrow either. All right, so that's all right. That can rotate out of the way there. It's not quite the same. Maybe it'll be all right. I told you it was thundering. I told you the lightning was coming. You thought I was kidding. I wasn't kidding. It's coming. It's a good day to be in the shop working on something, I think. That's what I think. I think it's a good day for this. I often find that I have better results if I flip these over in a way that's sort of counterintuitive. There we go. Oh, goodness gracious. I'm gonna have to put this bolt back in to hold this thing. Just so it doesn't walk around on me. There it goes. Steady pressure. That almost felt like it would be loose enough to take out with my finger. That doesn't make sense. It is. All right. I'll take that every time. No worries there. Thank you very much. This other one, I don't know about that. I don't know about that at all. I don't think I can get my wrench around there. In fact, I know I can't get my wrench around that, so if you can't do that, then you're going to have to pop this back off. And we're going to have to move it up off of there somehow. To raise it up, maybe I can figure something out here. A lot of debris. Wow, I should have done this when I had the shock absorbers off. Does this look like fun, folks? Does it appear to be? If it does, then I know that I'm doing a good job of dramatizing things, right? Oh, here we go, I think. It's on there. You gotta make sure you get your wrench on all the way or you will be sorry. That much I can tell you. My experience has always been, if you get that wrench on anywhere other than straight on and all the way on, you're gonna have no fun. And you might ask yourself, what am I doing now? But I'm trying to get this bolt restarted because I need something to hold this thing stable again while I put a little torque on it here. I sure don't like the way it feels, but oh, I like that though. That was nice. That was perfect. So it did break loose without stripping anything out. Oh, I like that. That's the way it needs to be. I'm very thankful for that. Appreciate it. That is about as fiddly as it gets right there. Well, maybe not quite. I've had worse. I've fought with worse, that's for sure. So I don't want to say that that's as bad as it gets. That'd be dumb. It's just no fun. Bad as it gets, no. No fun, yes. Yeah, I've fought with worse, so yeah. Okay. All right, I'll see how we're doing. I'll play along. Okay, here we go. Probably do it now with a standard 7/16 wrench. Once you break them loose, you can generally work with them with an open end wrench.
So you break them loose with the fitting wrench. And then a standard open end wrench can take it the rest of the way out because you're not putting any torque on it to speak of. And off it'll come. Just like that. I'm going to put this nut, this bolt back in here temporarily so I don't get any other junk in here that I haven't already gotten in that housing. Okay. And we're back to where we started, which is trying to take this loose. I don't think there's a great deal I can do with that. I might be able to spin that around, although that's doubtful. Oh, that's a 5/8. I thought it was a 5/8. Oh, 11/16? That's an odd size. But okay then, if that's what you say, I'll play along. Oh no, that's not going to turn. Oh, it's tight. Nope. And here we go. Off. Wow, that's the new one. The old one's off here. Took a little bit of doing. I finally just worked it off with this chisel here. Just kind of worked it around. And I got my clip. The clip was a little bit worse for wear, but not bad. I'm going to clean that up and paint it. I'll put it right back on. And it's supposed to go back in basically this relationship right here. So that'll take care of it. The old part down here, and the new part. Not exactly the same, but it'll do the job. Thank you, Dorman. Let's start putting things back together. We are far afield here. I think the first thing I need to put in is going to be this one. And it should go in right there. Good gravy. Since I need more tactile feedback, I'm going to put more layers of something between me and what I'm trying to feel. That'll help a lot, won't it? Yeah, I should have done this before I put the shock in, that's for sure. Because if I had, life could have been a little bit better for me, I'm thinking. Sounds like a church bell ringing. Or a cowbell. More cowbell. Oh, no. What is going on? I thought I had it started there. I was feeling good for a minute. Until I realized that it wasn't started. And then I didn't feel so good anymore. Let's see. I am not getting this going here. I need more light back over here, I think. So I apologize. You're going to see less, but I want to see more. And even though I should be able to almost do this without seeing anything, I can't. These has to go like these. Well, right now, I am certainly not feeling the love for this. Looks like it should be the same, but it is definitely not going in very well. And I am not getting much joy right there at all. Well, what in the name of time? It's almost like it's not the right size. Because I've got it. No, I don't know. That's interesting. Just doing the same thing over and over again to no avail, and that's not really smart. You can't do that. You gotta try it a different way or something. I don't think that's the right size. I really don't. I swear I don't think that's the right size. Fitting. That should go. That should go. If I put this old one up there, let me just show you. I'll show you what I'm talking about. If I put this old one up here, let's just test my theory. Let's test my theory. If I put this old one up here, and I get it, it's not going too well either. So maybe my theory is erroneous. Maybe I don't have a good theory. There it went. Like that one's going on. So, that's too small. I'm telling you. That is too small. Look at this. Here's the one. Here's the other. You tell me. That's too small. Look. This is what you got to deal with. There's no doubt. I'm going to go test this. I'll be back. Here's the story. Remember I was saying that it was like these threads are too small? I just happen to have a handy dandy thread checker here. Not sponsored. 3/8 24. Will screw right in. Look at that. 3/8 24 will screw right in there. There it is. 3/8 24. Screws right in. So you think that's good. That's not a problem, right? Piece of cake. But on my original part, 3/8 24, it just falls right in. However, if I have a 7/16 20, well, then we're in business. So the Dorman part for my Mach 1 is not correct. It does not work. Back to the drawing board. So if you need a part for your 70 Mach 1, the rear brake hose, this is not the right part number, H36603 from Dorman. Not the right part number. Says it's the right part number, not the right part number. So I got to come up with something else. The saga of the rear brake line for the 70 Mach 1 Mustang continues, although now I've got some good news. Remember that my replacement that I ordered, actually from Amazon, but it was a Dorman part ordered through Amazon. Remember the name of the replacement brand. At any rate, one of the things that you would see when you looked online to query this part would have been a part number that came from the company I ordered from. Amazon was one of the resources, but there were many, many others, and none of them looked quite like this. So it was a replacement in name only, and if you remember, the fittings did not fit at all. The bracket here was not rounded. It was it had breaks in it so that it had like bends. It wasn't a continuous bend. Didn't look like this, and so not going to work. Luckily, that led me to searching for replacements, and you know what I found? I found a company called Inline Tube, and Inline Tube makes all kinds of replacement brake and cooling parts, hydraulic parts, hoses, that type of thing. Inline Tube. And if you look at this thing is just beautiful. It is. I've already checked the fittings. It is an exact replacement. And in fact, if you look at the part number, it has the Ford part number on it. So, Inline Tube, INLINETUBE, inlinetube.com is the answer. And in fact, everything brake line related, power steering line related, any type of hose like that, or a line like that, this stuff is really well done. You can see it's high quality. It is just really well done. High quality, excellent stuff. The company's based in Michigan. I do not know anything more about it than that, but I'll tell you what,
I'm very impressed with their service. It was here, I think I ordered it, I don't remember, Thursday, Friday. It was here within less than a week or so. So actually 3 or 4 days. So excellent service. Inline tube, you owe it to yourself to check them out. There is one other thing. I think I said this was an exact replacement. It's not quite exact. This piece of protective hose here, see it's got bands on it and the whole thing is connected and slides over. This one just has the bands. There is no other protective hose. So it's not a piece that's larger, that's entirely encompassing or surrounding that original hose. But these slide, you can see. They all move to where you need them to be. So they would just keep the line from abrasion, keep it from being worn into, that type of thing. We're gonna put it on and see how it works. All right, as so often happens, I find out that the best camera is probably going to be the iPhone. So here's what the things look like. This is the actual block, the way things kind of mount up there. And then here is the connection that goes to the hard line up to the front of the car. Okay, maybe that'll work. We're going to try it. I'm going to have to go over on the other side, I'm afraid. And convince this thing that it needs to go in here. Like I say, I don't want to put it in. I'm trying to think. Now, remember, I've put one of these on in 30 plus years of ownership. So the likelihood is I'll never put another one on the car. But as I'm starting to put it on, I'm thinking about, well, how can I put this on so that it will be easily removed? Oh, that's a good thing to think about, isn't it? How can I help the next guy, right? Got to get the orientation right. There we go. Doesn't look too promising from this angle, though. I don't think there's a lot of room there. There certainly wasn't much room initially when the thing was new, or when the other part, the original part, was in there. I think I need to pop this back off because it's keeping me from being able to really move the way I need to. So I'm going to pull this back off here. And probably a word to the wise is be sure you got everything on, all your mounting hardware on before you start tightening up brake lines, maybe. Man. Probably on the shock absorber, I would imagine, is what we're trying to avoid there. Okay, looks like it's better. All right. Here we go. Start to put it in, drop it. Works fine. Here we go. Oh, that's much better. That actually looks like it might fit. It might work. All right, so I've got it on there finally. But I think I found a chink in the armor of the inline tube. Everything fit fine until I got up to here. Until I got here, and you can see this. See, my glove is ripped. There's a notch in the bracket, and there's a recessed or a flat spot on the fitting that has to go up through there, and it has to stay in that spot. It can't be cocked any other way. So it's got to be there, or it will not go far enough up to allow the clip to go in. And when it's cocked that way, you can see the hose is twisted quite a bit. That brake hose is twisted around quite a bit. It's not relaxed. It's not just kind of hanging there. So I'm going to go check the original one. As I suspected, my inline tube, I was so excited about the inline tube brake hose. I noticed something when I was looking at it that I thought might be a problem, but then I thought it might not be. But if you look straight down the hose, you'll see that the flat part of the fitting is kind of aligned with the this side of the block. It's kind of right there, no problem. The new one is not clocked that way. The new one, this flat part is sitting probably about right here somewhere. So you're talking about this having to be twisted at least a quarter turn which means that there's not really a good way to have the hose sitting there relaxed. It's not ideal, but it's what I got to deal with. So I'm going to let inline hose know about it, but for my purposes right now, it's just going to be what it is. So last time I had a problem with my inline tube brake line. And what I ended up doing is taking that brake line. You can see the flat spot there. I just ground this side of the fitting down flat, just like it should be if it were clocked correctly. It's up in there, everything fits the way it should. And you can see that the hose now hangs the way it should. It's not kinked up. Everything's in place, fits well. Good news is that inline tube was very responsive. They emailed me, they wanted pictures, the videos were well accepted, or the video was well accepted, and they basically just said, look, that's all we've got. Everyone we have is clocked in correctly. And so the way to fix that is just grind off the flat spot there where you need it, put it in place. They did say they were going to refund my money, which I appreciate, but it's a really good part other than that, and I can't say that I don't recommend them. I can only say that I recommend them, but you'll have to do a little bit of maintenance. I have got the brakes back on it, the wheels and tires back on it, put new brake shoes, new seals, axle seals, wheel cylinders, changed the oil, put my hood pins back in. I'd had those out. I gotta take them back out at some point and work on my hood. Cleaned it up, cleaned the windows, and got the interior looking pretty good. So yeah, the old car looks pretty nice at this point. Took a little while. I think I took it apart in June. It's now October 1st. So she's been sitting here for a little while under my lift, and it was partially just my schedule, partially trying to get a lot of other things done and waiting on parts and one thing or the other. But a lot more to do to it. I've got to check the cooling system. I'm going to put a new heater core and new hoses on it, and probably a new radiator. It's got a new fuel tank in it. It's got all new brake lines now. Not the steel lines, but I flushed all the brake fluid out, put fresh brake fluid in it. It's got all new brake hoses, so that's good to go. And yeah, this car can at least move now. And I do notice that the front end here is it sits a lot higher than it used to with those new shocks. I took the air shocks off. It had a set of Montgomery Ward, I think, shock absorbers on the front. So that tells you how old they were. And to tell you how long it's been since anything's been done, every part I took off of it said made in the USA. Pretty much every part I put back on it said made in China. So there you go. But yeah, it sits a little higher now than it did in the front. So that's okay. I don't mind it sitting high. I'm not a fan of putting one on the ground and having it drag everything. I just want it to ride nice and drive nice. So yeah, now it's going to be a matter of the cooling system to make sure that's fine. I think I had a freeze plug problem in the past. I'll probably have to pull this engine, put new freeze plugs, gaskets, seals, and things. I'm not going to rebuild the engine because it runs great, but I probably will pull it and do a little bit of work on those things. And then, and I'm not going to drive it a whole heck of a lot, but to be able to drive it a little bit will be really nice. So that's kind of the end of this particular part of the project, and we'll move on to something else. Well, that wraps it up for this edition of It's a Doc's Life. Wrap the car up for this anyway. I didn't show any final overview, didn't take it for a drive. I still have to do the work on the engine. I actually completed this a couple of years ago and had some things pop up which kept me from doing any more. I've got work to finish on this. I've got to pull the engine, go through that as I mentioned. I need to work on my 69 F-250. I've got to put the 390 in that. I need to work on my 65 Mustang, get it painted, kind of put everything back together. My 51 Alice Chalmers WD, I need to put that back together as well, make sure everything's right with it. You name it, there's plenty of work. But as always, we have to keep a positive attitude, positive outlook, and we have to move forward. So with that in mind, again, thanks for tuning in to It's a Doc's Life. If you don't mind, click the like button. It really makes a difference, and I'm trying to build this channel and figure out ways to add things that are fun for me, but also fun for you. We'll keep it going here, and until I see you again, endeavor to persevere.